Okay, although it will be feeling like April outside today, we are still a couple months away from the largest field of bike riders in Canada coming together for the 2023 Paris to Ancaster, which has a new designation, as it will be the first Canadian gravel championship. Great to have organizer John Thorpe with us in studio. And we're training already, John.
We are, Tim.
Right to it.
Yeah.
Get into it. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for bringing in these trainers to get us moving and grooving, because people do train at all different weather elements, I'm assuming, to get ready for it.
Well, people are training all year round for it, and you know, the ones who are fit for Paris Ancaster at the end of April, they have a great season because they're fit at the start of the season. So,
do you look at the weather today, and is this an earlier spring good for Paris to Ancaster?
It's really tough to say because, you know, spring can be anything, right? We can still get snow in March, and we've had snow in April at the race. So last year we had sunny and 14 degrees, and that was amazing, and that was, that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get to race it. I have to stand around in the rain if it rains or the snow.
And getting everything organized, because, so how many years have we been doing it now, John?
Well, this is our 30th year of doing it. We lost 2 years to the pandemic. We did the one virtual event. Yeah.
How big, I don't know, how big a feather in your cap is having it as the first Canadian gravel championships?
Well, we think it's pretty cool. Gravel racing has grown up over the last 10 years. It's the fastest growing part of the sport right now. So to be the first ever, you're only the first ever once. So whoever wins this year will be the first ever gravel champion forever.
Why is gravel increasing in popularity?
I think a lot of it is getting off the roads. It's a little safer. You're not dealing with cars all the time. There's also such great trails around now with all the rail trail systems, and you can put together the trails and gravel roads and some little off-road sections and make a really interesting, fun ride. And
like the competition, the Canadian Championship, is happening the same race day as everybody else?
That's right. Yeah. So the national champion will be racing same course, same time as Ma and Pa and everybody else.
But that's the history of this race. And that's why it's always been so great.
Yeah, and that's also the history of gravel racing, is that it's a mass participation event. It's not elitist. Everybody races together. Everybody has fun. It's just a cool event.
So let's break it down, because there's different races, and you kind of changed a few things when it comes to that in the names of the races.
Yeah.
And why'd you do that?
Well, We've never really been sure of the length of the races, Tim, because we use a lot of private property. If there's bad weather, we sometimes have to skip a section of the course. And so last year we ended up having to skip a fairly significant section that took what was advertised as a 70-kilometer race down to 58 kilometers. And a lot of people were disappointed in that. So we decided, you know, maybe accuracy isn't our strong point. We changed them. Instead of identifying them by their distance, we're identifying them by a name. So the 70K is now the classic event, because it's the event we've been doing for the full 30 years. There's always been a 70 or close to it event. The 45K is the breve, which means brief in French, and it isn't really brief, but it's, I guess, briefer than 70K.
45 kilometers, right?
And the 100K is the cento, which cento is 100 in Italian. But there's also a Latin word that's close to that, and the origin means patchwork, like as a patchwork quilt or something. And we look at it as a patchwork of our event, of race surfaces. So there's the gravel sections, there's the rail trail, there's private farm lanes, there's some paved roads, and we patch it all together to get from Paris to Ancaster.
And you got the family ride.
And the family ride has really grown over the last few years, yeah. And it starts at Bishop Toners in Ancaster, finishes the same place as everybody else. Fairly not very technical, so anybody can ride it. Yeah.
What about women? Have you seen the increase in women riders?
It's gone up and down, and we're trying to really promote the women's participation this year, partly because of the nationals, but partly because I think, you know, we just want to increase the women's participation. This year we have special guests coming to join us. Kelsey Mitchell, who won the gold medal in the sprint at the 2022 Olympics.
Amazing.
She's away today racing in Jakarta, but she'll be back in time for Paris Ancaster, and we hope that she'll join one of the events and, you know, maybe help promote it to other women.
Well, we saw some video of the mud. Yeah. You saw the mud and the hill, and I came out with you a couple of years ago, and I did the hill.
And you did it on clip-in pedals for the first time. You didn't fall off.
Because it was a good day. Here we
there
go.
you are,
Here.
yeah.
Sue Palmer
Yeah,
was
yeah.
with me at the time going up that hill. This is the last hill before you get to the finish
Yeah.
line. So it's such an accomplishment to
Sue
to get
Palmer,
there.
I think, has been the first woman up that hill about 4 or 5 times in the race.
Is it really?
And so she'll be going for a national championship this year. She's won quite a few of them in the past, but I think she'll be going for an age group nationals this year.
Registration is on right now. Where
It
can
is,
people go
yep.
register?
Yep, ParisAncaster.com.
When is registration till?
Up till we're going to cut it off either when it fills up or a week before the event.
Okay. I'm going to be back. I'm not going to be biking, but I'm going to be announcing, doing my talking
Excellent.
hairdo thing.
Excellent.
We're going to break, so let's come on. What do you got? What do you got, Johnny? Come on. What do you got? Let's go. There's the Ancaster 2023.
Holy smokes, you're going to get me.